Okay, I'm gonna slide this hoop over here, and then let's get rid of this 90 for a second. And okay. Alright, you ready to mark?
Mark?
I said, you're ready to mark. Don't mark it yet. Actually, just help me slide that on the clamp. Because I'm thinking I'll mark it on this end. And then I'll just measure it off that end. Or not. Hold the clamp itself. This thing has decided to wedge itself in there. You better hold it tight. Tell me where, get that other 90 and let's put that on there and like simulate the exhaust. Why? This thing is being real stubborn. Okay. So get that other 90-degree piece from the box and then we'll slide that on there and kind of see where we want it.
I got it.
Okay, put the white end on the pipe. Well, that ain't gonna work. Okay, help me with that clamp because it keeps grabbing. Okay, try it now. And slip it all the way over. And then, how far back is that right now? It's pretty far, huh? So we can't really cut off too much more. So I think we'll call it right there, and then we're gonna have to, like that clamp is as far forward as it's gonna go, so we'll have to cut the pipe itself and then butt weld it. And that's gonna be difficult because we've got that flared piece there. And then I can't pull this back. So that's fine. Alright, well, let's have the Sharpie and I'll mark this out. And I'll deal with that in a second. So I'm trying to get this done a little bit quicker so that we can get on with life here. It's just... this pipe is cooperating. Can you hold that pipe up? Just pull down on it. So it, like, make it come up so it's in between the gas tank and the tire well there. I can turn my mouth. Okay, you got it? Okay, see how it's just falling down? You need to pull down. Like, flip that elbow down. Yeah, you can flip the elbow down so it points to the ground. Yeah, and then just pull down on it. Just hang on to it there for a minute. Okay, you know what, you can let go of that. Just let it hang there. It should be fine. Just trying to make sure that we got this spaced out correctly. Okay.
What the heck was that?
Alright. I think that should be okay right there. But the real difficult things, I've got to have this back piece on here to get our height, and that changes my angle. See, this piece here is going to cause us grief. It's right there, and we're fine. We should have a little bit more. Yeah. We need to be careful because I cut this too short with the muffler on there. I'm going to have enough pipe. So I'm going to give myself, well, actually, let's just. Okay. All right, let's take this pipe and cut it. GoPro, stop recording. Okay, so got our cut made here. Let's see how bad I screwed this up. I think we're okay. Taking a little bit of wiggle room back and forth with the muffler. So, I think probably ought to go weld this as soon as I can verify that. Now I think I'm going to mark this. You can see where I made this beveled cut. Probably should have beveled this one too, but I didn't. What a dummy. Now got the angle just a little bit here. We did have this pipe on here. That's going to determine how far that sits down. Okay, I just tacked this in place to see. It's a little difficult because now we've got so much length on here. I'm just going to see if we can get this up over the axle. I don't know if I can or not. I think I can. If I get my hand out of there. Oh, we're so close. Maybe. Maybe. No. Okay, let's do it the other way and see if we can hook it over. The only problem is that stupid clamp.
What?
I'm talking to our one viewer. Clearance-wise, we're doing pretty good. I can sit here and rotate this. So, I think, hey Uni, you pull that end off there.
This one?
Yeah.
Here, Mom.
Okay, and then let's see what we got to do here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do about this. So we cannot have it touching the bottom of the car. We don't want it too close either, because it'll burn it. The original is kind of tipped, so that's what I'm trying to emulate here without touching the gas tank. The problem is this 90 right here wants to sit here and flex around. There. Now, if we can get our height figured out. Okay. Well, I think that's about where we're going to live. muffler is hanging us down a little bit though. Well, I think we should Sharpie it. And then I'm going to try to make sure that 90 is on the right angle. I'm definitely not going to full pin weld this in just yet. I cannot see what I'm doing, so I'm trying to make darn sure my mark is lined up. Alright, I've got this in here. I had to cut this pipe right there so we can get up over the axle, and I wish I could have left a little more length on it and just put a clamp back here, but it is what it is. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that other than weld all this other stuff up and then weld this in place. But yeah, you'd have to cut it to get it down. That's the one downside of doing them this way, is you really can't get that pipe out. So we're going to mark this down here. Give us a about 2 inches beyond that clamp. Just take, you know, that far past that clamp and just give us a straight mark. About that far. That far. Here. Match your fingers to my fingers, ET. Okay, yeah. Just keep that one finger there while you mark it. Better to be long than short. Okay, we'll cut that off. I'll bring you back and see if we screwed up some more. GoPro, stop recording. Okay. Let's try and snake this in this clamp here. Hey, Uni, you want to take out that screw? Maybe it'll make it easier on us.
Where?
This right here on the clamp. Unless it's already loose. Is it loose? No, leave it. Okay. One. See if I can thread the needle here. Oh my gosh, what a pain in the rear. These clamps have made this miserable. Okay. Alright, now, see, this clamp is still causing problems. Pull that clamp back because it's pulling the pipe off. In fact, let me see. Oh, that really sucks. It slid back. Now we're kind of close to that gas tank here, so I can tip it up a little bit, maneuver it around, and then that helps. I got about a finger's distance in between that side, and then yeah. So if we were to do anything more, I think what we'd end up having to do, and this is just tentative too, is we'd have to shorten it here, which means I'll have to cut that tack and then bump it up. But what the real problem is it's kind of just gimpy right here, you know, it's not holding it up very good. So all my measurements here kind of get thrown off because those clamps are letting it sag. So what I think I probably need to do is take this clamp off and actually slide it over this to begin with, and then I can kind of get a better feeling for how this is. But I want to give you an overall view here. I'm trying not to jostle the camera too much, but if you look up in there, I know it's dark, but you can see the factory has a bend right there on that gas tank, so we could, you know, fold that back even a little bit more if we have to, but I'd rather not. I'd rather have this sitting right about here. So let me take that clamp off up here, and I'll slide this over the pipe, and then we'll just fit that in there. I'll just do this finger tight. Alright. Now if you notice on there, I've not welded them up yet, so you can see why. Don't paint yourself into a corner. I'm telling you what, I've done a lot of exhaust work. There's nothing worse than having to cut it all down after hours worth of work. I did one on a limousine, and that's 3-inch pipe over 50 feet. It took me 7 hours. That was miserable. And then the guy tried to stiff me on the bill. Now the lock washer refuses to go on. Fumbling around here. Alright. I know this is terribly thrilling to watch. I understand too that this whole pipe is going to cant down just a little bit when I get the swale put in up here at the front at the header pipe. But I would say right now we're good to go ahead and weld up all this other hoop, and then I can weld this other spot in the car, and then I think this will sit up even higher, you know, just a little bit once I get that clamp on the back slid forward. Got that where I want it, and then we've got some adjustability up and down, front to back, so we gotta hold all this crap at once. It's not easy. Okay, I'll show you what's up here. So I can scooch this around a little bit. You can see, hopefully, you know, I got about a finger's width in between here, and I'm just going to try and split the difference between the back and the front here, and hopefully I got this in here the way we want it, and show you the muffler here. That's still loose, which is what we want. And then I got to fix up there where that little swale is, so that this front pipe comes like this. So hopefully, you know, we're pretty well set to go here. I'm not going to put clamps on just yet. Okay, so here's kind of our overview. We just slipped that 90 on there. Clearly we're going to have to cut that. Okay, so we got a little issue here. We're kind of coming up on a triangle. So I'd like to suck this up a little bit higher. I think if I just cut that back, maybe right here, I can probably pull this welded section out and then just slide this up. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so after a 20-minute delay here, I finally got the new end put on the cord for the angle grinder. Maybe that'll make life a little easier. And yes, I know I don't have a guard on here. The reason why is because it's more dangerous for what I'm doing. Trust me, I had a guard on one day. I got my finger caught in there, almost ground my finger off. I couldn't get my finger out from between the wheel and the guard. After that, I swore him off. Alright. It's off there. Okay, good. That worked. Yeah, we got that piece out of there, so no biggie. And what I'm trying to do is get this to sit more level up here. So right about there. But I'm going to have to prop this exhaust up now. So I'll get my jack stand here, and maybe it'll be tall enough after I crack my head on the car a few times here. This is not exactly fun. Ow, and that's hot on the scalp. It smells like barbecued dog hair now. Let's figure out where we need to cut this. Okay. probably about right. And that'll probably give us what we need. So the mistake I made was welding this solid. I made the same mistake up front. I'm going to have to put a little dog leg in there. That was dumb. What a dummy. Okay, so what I did there was cut that back, and then now it's kind of giving me a hassle on putting that in there, obviously, because I cut it on down here, and the pipe is effectively on an angle because of the bend. So it's not an issue as far as welding it up, it's just making it hard to get this where I want it. And it's also very sharp. Ah, man, that allergies like crazy today. Now, yeah, it's pretty decent. I think let's put one tack on there and let it kind of hang and then reevaluate it. And I'm gonna have to put the ground clamp on, which means I'm gonna reset all this crap. But let's use the jack stand to our advantage now, huh? Okay, so I think if we shorten this loop here, just cut it, stitch it back, you'll never see it, it'll be the same. And I think that'll give us just a little more wiggle room over the axle. Maybe take out 3/4 of an inch or so. So let me bring you back when I got all this monkey business taken down, and I'll go out and cut that a little bit and weld it, and then I'll just tack it this time, and we'll see if that is what we want, and if it fits where we're going over this axle. Made some adjustments here, and I cut that pipe back. I was able to pull it out from that flare, so that was good. And then we're gonna hang this up with a clamp here real quick, and then see where this sits, because this is obviously going to sit higher, and this is flopping down on itself now. So let's get that hung, and then we'll see what adjustments we got to make. I'll probably just tack this in place up here and then take it back down. So this is a lot of fiddling around, but it's worth it, and if you're doing something that's not a pre-made exhaust, a factory exhaust, you may be $1,000 taking it down to somebody or more. And that pipe, and then we'll have a little bit of wiggle room back and forth. So I'll get this so it's not under any pressure here at all. And I'm trying to hit the sway bar here in the deepest notch. So if this axle does come up that far, it's going to hit the bump stop. So it moves. The wind's blowing dirt in my eyes. Frustrating. We've got to find a spot to ground this puppy. Hopefully these goggles don't get a spark in my eye. Oh, that looks beautiful. What the hell's going on for welding? Tack at one other place, because that sucked. Okay, didn't change my settings. Now I've got a booger weld on there. That's beautiful. I'll go weld this up, and we'll come back and see how that fits on the tailpipe. All right, fellas, we're back, and we'll get that welded up. I don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom this in when I'm editing, but hopefully that shows enough detail. But right there, turned out great. And my welding settings actually did get bumped. My line speed got bumped up by like 250. So I don't know what the deal is there. This welder's been sitting in the shop for 2-3 days. Now I'm using my space goggles here. Let's see how they do. So far they're working beautifully. I mean, for 15 bucks, man, I'm not complaining. You can hear a little hole there. Try not to shoot wire in there. You ever notice when you get the welder dialed in right, you can smell it? That smells just perfect. Now I need to look and see if I got the holes filled. Looks like I did, because there's a little gap right there at the top because of the way I angled that. Okay, feel my hair melting. This is why I do this upside down and just spot it, is because you're going to get a lot smaller weld. Yes, I could run a bead around here if I want to sit here and screw around with my settings. Yes, I do know how to weld. I was a welder. It's structural and ornamental iron. But this is not that. Realize, you know, a lot of this work I do, it's about problem solving and thinking outside the box. So, you know, you look at these bullshit shows on cable, they're not showing you 99% of the stuff they went through to get those results. And, you know, the hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment they've got too. Okay. See, she's solid, nice small welds, you know, no fiddling around with the welder, and no big boogers hanging off the bottom, you know, when you're welding overhead. That's a big problem. You got to change your settings welding overhead. You know, I've done it many times. And when the truck's 300 feet away, that is not fun. Alright, so I had to go handheld here with the cell phone. But I wanted to give you guys an overview of the pipe. My stupid GoPro card is full, so there you are. And then this is the piece I just welded. So you can see I've got all the way around it, and that puppy's straight. So next move is to figure out the exhaust tip, which is just going to be a 90, and angle her down a little bit, and I'll go fix that piece up front and put our clamps on the muffler. Where we're going is up here. Now if you look right there, that's the problem. So it's got to come up over the frame a little bit more and down and back. Okay, so we're going to fit this now. And we better be real careful we don't bump this. Famous last words. So, let's see what this looks like from the side. Okay, so I think we're just going to cut it right about here where it comes onto the flat. and then we'll go ahead and tack that in, and we'll be done with this section. All right. I think we've managed not to bump this. I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack this on. Sure I am. Gotta put the ground clamp on there, dummy. Okay. I need to check the top. See if we got that. So hopefully you can see that. There we go. Try and fix the exposure for you. So we're most of the way there. I'm gonna fix that one piece up front, put the clamps on. We're gonna use a couple of those 45s, and what I'm gonna do is kind of something like this. And we're gonna take this pipe here, raise it up a little bit, and then you'll have a piece coming down, and try to get you a better view here. Have one coming down off like that, and then something like this, and it'll of course be up at this level. In fact, yeah, I don't have to come up a whole lot to make that work. So it's too bad I had to do that the wrong way the first time. Man, I don't know. I waited till 10 o'clock last night, taken down, and I'll bring you back here in a minute when I've got these all cut. And then I'll come underneath here and tack this in place. I marked it with a Sharpie too, so I know what's what and where our original orientation was, so that we don't get it skewed sideways. Okay, well, after 20 minutes of cutting all my hard work out, here we go. In fact, just to be double sure, let's put that gasket back on. I doubt it's going to make any difference at all, but we're not going to take a chance. wait to tear this down again 5 more times. Especially everything under this flipping car is sharp, you know? Need my mechanics over here to round some corners off. This is so much harder this time. I was gonna go run last night. I got stuck here doing stuff I didn't want to do. I got to run in. You know, all good things. These are fine thread bolts. And so, of course, they're a pain in the butt. And they're like a mile long. Man. Well, hopefully you can see underneath this car all the hard work I've done. We had a horrible rainstorm and it splashed mud up all over the fresh paint on this oil pan. That was a while ago though. So I'm gonna have to clean that up, and then for some reason our oil pan gaskets are leaking. I don't know what the deal is with those. And of course, I've lost my Sharpie now. I'm gonna come over here with you guys. Boy. No me gusta. That's a little... I don't know. Like I can kick it out a little further. Oh, actually, you know what? That's probably okay. I just need to make sure that this isn't, you know, kicked in so far on that flared section. It's on. And then yeah, see, that looks pretty good right there actually. Dirt fresh in my mouth. And of course, the muffler decides to fall. Now, oh boy. You know, I'm glad that jack stand isn't supporting a bunch of weight, because it just let go. The dumb thing is, look how that's coming uphill like that. Well, that's because of the clamps. I mean, the only thing I can do is cut it back there and try and tip it down. You know? But I think this is going to have to stay a little bit, you know, loosey-goosey until we figure out our angles. That'd be just about ideal. It's hard to tell because that muffler's in the way, but it almost lines up perfectly with that clamp. We're up in the air quite a bit here. Man, I'm not sure what to do about that unless we cut a little bit more on that. Well, we might be able to hit it. Just didn't want this going, you know, in a wave all the way down here. Okay, well, this has been a real pain, but if you look here, I think we about got her. I wish I didn't have that tack right there, because I kind of need to pivot this up just a touch. So I'll have to cut that tack free. But boy, that was hard getting that in place. But I got one other spot I think we're going to end up having to cut and fix back there, way back there. But you know what? That's fine. I'll just cut it, shorten it up a little bit. I'm leaving my length extra long going into these flanges so that we'll have a little bit of room to shuffle back and forth to account for stuff like that. All right, folks, we're on a struggle bus today. Tell you what, but I think we're getting there. Okay. Now, well, I think we about got this where we want it. Well, I think I'm gonna tack this in place, and I hope I don't regret it, but you know, I think the muffler is where I want it. I think the problem is back here, that pipe is too low, so we'll cut that back, and then even if I got to use a different pipe, it doesn't matter. I've got more of these, and then we'll tip it up so it meets that exhaust better. Right there, that's the original clamp from 1948, so that's why I'm using them, so I can get my routing right. But if you look here, I don't like how this is coming uphill here. I think we can fix that. So, you know, I think that that's just a matter of cutting that and sliding this pipe back. So let's get on with it. Maybe we should just leave it alone, I don't know. But this clamp sits where it sits, you know, and that forces me to have to do that like that. I mean, it'll probably go into the muffler right now as it is. I don't know. The muffler is all the way forward, so I can kick it back. Clear back here if I needed to. I want to keep it underneath the heat shield, of course. And I don't want it too close to the heat shield. I mean, right now, you know, we're probably 1.5 inches away from that heat shield. So I think, let's try and take this undone here. Oh, did I tighten that? I think I tightened it up yesterday. God, why didn't you guys tell me? Luckily, I left the wrenches underneath here. Stupid thing is fighting me here. There we go, that's a little better. I'm inclined to leave that right there, just for the fact that trying to hit this clamp, I don't really see any functional benefit of cutting that and lowering, or you know, raising that up at all. If anything, it's actually going to cause us more of an issue. This stupid thing has shifted some. So, knocking stuff in my eyes. Let's get my safety glasses back on here. I tell you what, if I could take this out of here a few more times today, I'd be a happy man. Alright, I'm gonna take a risk. And that is, here's our completed exhaust. And you can see, you know, it doesn't look too bad. I think it looks pretty decent. But I think I want to cut this back a little bit here and just tip it just a touch more because it shifted. Nice. All right, guys, we got her. Just made some slight adjustments, wiggled everything around, and we're gonna finish tightening these clamps. Okay, I think we got her. I'll give you an overview here. Okay, I'm obviously handheld, so it's gonna be a little shaky. So, check her out. Got good clearance up here. I don't think we're gonna have any issues there. I'll grab the pipe and show you. Shaking around, moving the whole car. So, that's not gonna hit there. Fixed it. I fixed it there. Got good clearance here. Clearance there. Not perfectly centered over the heat shield, but I think it's fine. And then back here. And then up over the axle. We got good clearance for the bump stop. You know, I mean, we got good clearance so it'll hit the bump stop first before it hits the pipe if you ever bottom this out, which I can't imagine why you would. And then got good clearance around the gas tank here. You can probably see my fingers wiggling there. And then all the way back, and then our exhaust tip is just angled down there. So, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll keep them coming. I'm gonna go pass out.